We already went over Atlanta. We were on Miami when I had to stop. So go and take a look at Miami in just one moment. Let me get up the stream. Alright, so we'll continue. I think we already did that. So we voted in the CM chat to stay Miami Heat. So Dwayne Wade is going to stay. The first move that I would make, obviously, if I was a Miami Heat GM, is make Josh Richardson a small forward, because if he were to be a small forward, he would be the highest ranked small forward for them. So I would make him a small forward. Plus, you do have a bunch of depth. You can trade away a Tyler Johnson and a Dion Waiters, um, as well as Wayne Ellington. You could probably keep one of the two, but the first move I would make is trade Josh Richardson. I'd keep one of the three, or one of these two guys in Tyler Johnson and Dion Waiters for when Dwayne Wade retires. But I'd make Josh Richardson a small forward because he goes up to an 80, and keep Dwayne Wade as a shooting guard. Now for this, I would trade away James Johnson if you do decide to make Josh Richardson a small forward. You're not going to need Johnson, plus you do already have Justice Winslow coming off the bench. Then you also do have Derek Jones, what's up there? Then you also do have Derek Jones, Dikembe Dixon, and Duncan Robertson. At the power forward position, this is probably your weakest spot on the team, considering your best is like a 69 overall in Yante Madden. So he is a rookie from Georgia as well, so I mean he can progress, but it's all up to but it's all up if you even do want to roll with him as a starter. I honestly, Nair, you're third. You might be able to get the Celtics at 3. I don't know though. I think the Celtics might go second. Apparently, it's Lakers first with the Celtics second. It's gonna be interesting, honestly. But so anyway, back to Miami. Yante Matin, I would get rid of him, or keep him. I would make Kelly. Actually, I would either make either Kelly Olynyk. We'll compare. Hassan Whiteside becomes an 81 overall as a power forward. Kelly Olynyk becomes a 78. So I would honestly probably make Hassan Whiteside power forward and keep Kelly Olynyk as a center. How would Bam Adebayo be? Not even him. It doesn't even matter. You can even make Adebayo a power forward if you want. But either way, I would make one of the three centers here a power forward if you don't want to go out and trade for one. But Miami Heat, in my opinion, your best bet is to rebuild. And Hassan Whiteside probably isn't going to progress so much. I mean, his pot isn't 87, but he is 28. I don't know how much he is going to progress, but he very well can. So the next team, you're going to have to commit to a full rebuild here, and that's the Charlotte Hornets. Your first move would have to be to trade Kemba Walker. We're going to go, not really going to go as in depth now, because I did have to end the stream, so we might not have enough time. If we do have enough time, we'll come back to it. But for right now, if you're the Charlotte Hornets, you got a full rebuild. Trade everyone over the age of 30. Get rid of Kemba Walker. You can bring in a good like first round pick haul for Kemba Walker. You probably bring in a first round pick, probably like a rookie that can progress. Jeremy Lamb's already as young as it is. He's already, I mean, he's only gonna progress, but he is. I mean, he's not really gonna progress. Is what I meant to say. But should be okay. And honestly, one thing you can very well do is make Malik Monk honestly probably is. Actually, no, I'd keep him as a shooting guard. Let him come off the bench as a shooting guard. Then you also do have J.P. Makora, the rookie from Xavier. He's going to progress, but Malik Monk, being 19 from Kentucky, he definitely has the potential to be a starting shooting guard caliber. A star, maybe not. Maybe even a future point guard, considering he is 6'3", you can play him over like Kemba. The small forward position, you can get a pretty solid haul for Nicholas Batum, probably. Maybe a first round pick if you're like lucky. But I would try to, move Batum. Same thing with Kill Gilchrist, even though he is 24 and 76. I would try to maybe move him, because you also do have the rookie from Michigan State, Miles Bridges. It's going to progress to about probably an 84, 83. Alright, just because we have a request, we'll come back to this. Brandon wants to go through all 30 teams. Brandon, I'm just going to go down like this, if that's okay for you, buddy. I'm just going to go down like this, and I'll scroll back up. I forgot you weren't here earlier, so I'll do up to the Charlotte Hornets once again. Text me if this is okay as well. If this is like an okay speed for you. Just for right now, we're gonna go and do this quick, and then we'll go more back in depth back into Charlotte right after this. Just because Brandon needs a quick little scroll through. There we go. We got that. Here is Victor Oladipo and the Indiana Pacers. Here's your New Orleans Pelicans, Detroit Pistons. Here's the Houston Rockets, who pretty solid. Here is your San Antonio Spurs with DeMar DeRozan. Here is your Phoenix Suns. Sorry. There was your Thunder. Here is your Timberwolves. Here's your Portland Trail Blazers. There's your Warriors. Here's your Wizards. And then I don't know if you saw earlier, so we'll just go back to the 76ers as well. I went more in depth with the 76ers. All these teams I went in depth with here, so here you go. Then we'll go more in depth once we get back to Charlotte again. Then we should be back here in Memphis, correct? Yeah, we're in Memphis. Then we should be at Atlanta. And then here's Miami again, because I don't know if you saw Miami. Alright, so now that we are back in Charlotte, we can go take another in-depth look. So yeah, trade Batum and Kid Gilchrist, in my opinion. You can maybe even make Gilchrist. Nah, you can't really. I would trade Gilchrist, and then I would keep Miles Bridges, my bad, and make Miles Bridges, keep him as a small forward, and probably give him bench minutes if you are going to keep Kid Gilchrist or Batum. But Batum's probably like your second best trade asset, obviously outside of Kemba Walker, maybe even Jeremy Lamb if you do decide to get rid of him. Then you also do have Isaiah Wilkins, Dwayne Bacon, and Arnaldus Kuboka coming off the bench. At the power forward position, you got Marvin Williams and Frank Kaminsky. My first tip would be to actually no, it'd honestly probably be keep Frank Kaminsky as a power forward. But I would start Kaminsky over Marvin Williams only because of the age difference. But if you do want the better scoring, you could go Marvin Williams. But if you want the better defense, it would be Frank Kaminsky at the power forward spot there. So it all depends what type of ball you want to play. If you want to play defensive ball, Kaminsky. If you want to go scoring ball, Marvin Williams. Anyway, at the center position here, you got Cody Zeller, Willie Hernangomez and Bismack Biyombo. I would trade Bismack Biyombo unless you do want to go small ball because he is a little bit on the short side being 5'9". Honestly, you can even make Bismack Biyombo probably power forward if you want just that one overall upgrade there. But then you also do have Willie Hernangomez, who my thought is if it's like really an undersized center, I would make him like power forward, like a 6'11" center. I would make him power forward. And Willie Hernangomez being 77 overall, if you were moving at power forward, he could compete with Marvin Williams and Frank Kaminsky. Or if you even want, you can maybe even move Cody Zeller to power forward if you want him to be a starter right away. But he can be your starter right away at the center position. So if you just want the one overall upgrade, you can move Cody Zeller. But yeah, this is like the first team I would officially say that you need to full rebuild mode outside of Atlanta, obviously. Now we will head over to the Utah Jazz with their point guard position. They got Ricky Rubio here. I'd trade Ricky Rubio, even though he is only 26. I'd move Ricky, being that you have Dante Exum coming up, although definitely you don't need to rebuild this team. So first things first, I would trade Ricky Rubio and maybe like another bottom asset here for a better point guard. We'll get more into that. You also do have Raul Neto from Brazil, hopefully coming up. And then Nigel Williams-Goss from Gonzaga. Next guy at the shooting guard position, you got the youngster Donovan Mitchell. You're definitely going to want to hold on to him, 90 potential. Or if you do want like a bigger haul, you can trade Mitchell, but you better be getting a lot for Donovan Mitchell. This guy he's an absolute star, so you're going to have to be getting a lot from him. Then you also do have Alex Burks coming off the bench, who you could even move Alex Burks to small forward if you want that one overall upgrade, but that's just up to you. You probably won't need it because you got a couple guys. And you also do have Mr. Tripp himself, Grayson Allen from Duke University. He's 80 potential, so he can be a good 6-man for the future as well as. Then you also do obviously have Naz Matrulong. At the small forward position, you have Joe Ingles. This is probably the biggest upgrade you will need to go out and get is the small forward position, besides the point guard. Ingles is a doable small forward. Same thing, but the thing is, if you want more scoring, I would say it's Cephalosha because he can get more inside. But it all depends like what type of ball you want to play. If you want the 3 ball, Ingles is the way to go to start because he has that 3 ball splash, and also he can take high shot IQs. But if you want to go like with a closer attack, like more of like an inside mid-range, you could go Thabo Sefolosha. But honestly, I would rather go Ingles than Sefolosha, honestly, because the Jazz, since they have Ricky Rubio and they have a 3-point shooter in Donovan Mitchell, and not really a 3-point shooter, but they have a guy who can shoot anywhere in Donovan Mitchell, and a guy who is going to easily be able to assist in Ricky Rubio. I would keep Ingles, get those 3-point shots. I would get rid of Cephalosha, or maybe even make him a shooting guard. Hang on one moment. Just give me one. Actually, never mind. So Hi, I'm back. Sorry about that. Anyway, so back to Utah. I would try to maybe even trade Jay Crowder. Honestly, you can maybe even move him to a power forward position. No, you can't. I would honestly just try and trade Jay Crowder for some more. You also do have Royce O'Neal and Georges Niang coming as two young trade assets that you can even ship off. The power forward position, you got Derek Favors, who is still young, could be worth something if you want an upgrade. And you also do have Tyler Canavan. And then Rudy Gobert, absolute stud of a center. The draft, basically, so what's going to happen, Cam, is Brian is going to message you when you're up. You're going to message him the team. I'm going to after Brian's gonna tell me what team was, or I'm gonna show. I mean, I'll be in the chat looking at what team is selected, and then what team I see that's selected, I'll then go to in the overalls. I'll show you all their overalls and the picks. No, the draft is at 10:30, David. The draft is at 10:30. I'm just explaining Cam what's happening with the draft. So yeah, Brian's gonna DM you when it's your pick. You're gonna tell Brian who it is, or what your pick is. He's gonna announce in main chat. I'm gonna read it in main chat. Show your overalls on this, and if you would like, you can ask me to make an overall video, and I'll record the overalls on my phone and send it to you as well. So that way you can have the YouTube and the So that way you can have the saved live stream on YouTube to go back to, and you can have the overalls in your phone, so that we don't have to keep going on YouTube, etc., etc. Do you understand, Cam? Because I can explain it better for you if you want. But anyway, you got Rudy Gobert coming off the bench. I mean, the one of the bench center. I meant to say Ekpe Udoh. Yeah, you can yeah, just DM me, and I'm not gonna open it until after your pick, David. Yeah, you can pre-ask. I'm just not gonna open it until after your pick, and then I'll send it to you once you make your selection, obviously. So yeah. Yeah, I am too, honestly. I'm excited. I'm hoping I can get through all these teams here, but Ekpe Udoh now, 30, he can be a good trade value guy, and then you also do have Tony Bradley coming off, could be a good future piece here. Also, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube, because on here is where some of the sims are going to happen too, if I want to live stream a sim, etc., etc. This is definitely where the postseason sims are going to happen as well. So, if you are the Sacramento Kings, you're definitely going to have to enter a full rebuild. The Kings already basically have it started for you, and we'll get into some of their young players that they already have. But, first things first, 19-year-old De'Aaron Fox. We all know what Fox can do. He's going to be a lethal assist man, 87 pot. He's probably going to be one of the best point guards, in my opinion, for like years and years to come. Once he establishes his three-point shot and his mid-range as well, his playmaking is already very, very good. So if you do choose the Kings, be prepared to rebuild. Your next guy is Yogi Ferrell, and you will also see the draft picks that the team has when I show you your overall video. The next guy is Yogi Ferrell, who has an excellent mid-range. He is still young, could even be. If I'm the Kings, I wouldn't keep him since you have De'Aaron Fox and Frank Mason, but I would try to trade away Yogi Ferrell. I'd honestly keep Frank Mason, because Frank Mason, let me tell you, I'm a Kings fan, honestly. My favorite team is the Sacramento Kings, as weird as it sounds. I'm a Sacramento Kings fan. In my personal franchise where I kept injuries on, De'Aaron Fox tore his ACL, was out a year, and was out a full year. He got injured on December 13th, out a full year, and he didn't come back to the last 2 weeks of the season, the year after his ACL injury, and he was never fully healthy for like a season. For me, obviously, injuries are off, so it's not going to matter here. But Frank Mason came in, put up 10 points as a starter, and like he was actually a pretty good starter. He came in and filled the void for what Fox would have honestly gave you. Anyway, so shooting guard position, I don't really have much suggestions for this team, except for maybe actually one. Actually maybe two here. Yeah, I have two here. Since I am a Kings fan, I can go more in depth with the suggestions. Buddy Hield, I would trade. He doesn't progress all that much. He is an excellent three-point shooter, but I'd honestly try to move Buddy Hield. But if you want to, Fox and Buddy Hield can be a lethal combo. Then my second move I make Bojan Bogdanovic. If you are the Kings GM, I'd honestly make him a small forward back up to his like 75 overall, mainly because right now your only small forward is Justin Jackson, so you could really use Bogdan. as a small forward. Plus, he is going to go to an 80 overall. Then I'd also, if you don't want to move Bogdan, if you want the 1 overall upgrade, I'd move Ben Mickelmore to a small forward. I moved him to a small forward in my personal, and he was actually a really, really good small forward. He's still young, but he's probably not going to progress. Your next guy is Justin Jackson from North Carolina. Obviously, he's a second-year pro. He's not really going to progress, but he can still give you a good bench, or if you are going to start him, you can even start him. Now, my second tip here, so as we head to power forward, you need to enter full rebuild if you are the Mets. The Kings. I don't know why I said the Mets. Get rid of Zachary Randolph here. He's excellent inside, but anything outside of that, he's not really that good. He has an okay mid-range, I guess. I guess he's okay at scoring, but honestly, I would get rid of Zachary Randolph because he's not needed for your rebuild. Especially when you have this 19-year-old from Duke, second overall pick in this year's draft, Marvin Bagley, 88 potential. Him and Fox are going to be an amazing duo. You gotta get rid of Zachary Randolph. Then you also do have Nemanja Bjelica, who is 29, but he does have the potential to grow a tiny bit, I guess. Then you also do have Skelby here and Wenin Gabriel. A potential move that you can do as well is move Bagley to center, but it's not going to be much use because you do have Willie Cauley-Stein here, who is another trade I tried to do. I tried to get rid of Willie Cauley-Stein for maybe like a first round pick, even if it's like a late first round pick to a team that's contending. I'd still try to get rid of him because he can be useful to one of those teams. Then you also do have Costa Koufis, who you need to get rid of. Same thing with the Kings. Anyone over 25, get rid of. You also do have Deonta Davis, who you got in the Ben Mickelmore trade as well. You got Mickelmore and Davis for Garrett Temple and a couple others. He's going to progress. You also do have Harry Giles, who being 6'10", I'd move Harry Giles to the power forward position because you get the 1 overall upgrade. Plus, he is a little bit undersized, and you do have a crowded center core. I just have to answer back a snap. So yeah, basically that's Sacramento Kings. If you'll head to the New York Knicks, who is another one of the teams that you have to full rebuild if you wanna beat them, which is very, very doable, honestly. Even you have to trade everyone who is over 32, which is literally just Courtney Lee. So your point guard Trey Burke, I would get rid of Trey Burke, honestly, or just keep him. This honestly, if you were to be the next Nets, the only guy I'd get rid of Courtney Lee and maybe Tim Hardaway Jr., but I'd play out the season, or maybe just get rid of like all your good guys, bring in trash guys, and basically like tank for the first overall pick. But yeah, so if you are the New York Knicks, Emmanuel Mudiay. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show the draft picks and the overalls when I record it, and or if they ask for an overall video, and on the stream I'm gonna do both as well. But yeah, so Trey Burke, Emmanuel Mudiay, and Frank Nilinka you got here. Frank, obviously we all know Frank, the young man from France. He's only gonna go to Van 82. I don't really know how good he is going to be able to be, which is why, honestly, in the draft, I'd probably take a point guard if you can. I mean, don't like force if you have like the first overall pick. Don't take like Jalen Hands with the first overall pick. You could get like a Zion Williamson or a guy like that. Then at the shooting guard position, my first maybe move suggestion would be maybe move Mario Hezonja to a small forward, because you will need that small forward if you don't want to rush Kevin Knox right away. We'll get into the small forward in just a minute. You have Tim Hardaway, who you could trade away for a first round pick probably because he is still young. Could be valued to another rebuilding team if you don't want to go Tim Hardaway. Courtney Lee you can maybe trade for like 2 seconds, or maybe even a young player to progress. He's probably the only guy who you definitely have to trade. They signed Mario Hezonja this offseason. Could even be traded. He hasn't panned out for what he was with the 5th overall pick, but he definitely still can give you some quality minutes off the bench if you do roll with Hardaway and Hezonja. Then you also do have Damani Dotson, Kadeem Allen, Alonzo Monteria and Ojanjan Jeremiah. Why can't I pronounce foreign names? So yeah, like I said, I would move Mario Hezonja to the small forward spot if you don't want to rush Kevin Knox. But that just brings me to Kevin Knox. 80 potential, so he's probably not going to grow that much. This is a guy that you can build around. Also, get rid of Lance Thomas as the backup. Just a guy that you can build around, can definitely produce for you right away, especially with his inside. His dunk is absolutely amazing, in my opinion, for a rookie being 80. So yeah, he's a guy, and then obviously you're going to want to keep, if you're wanting to contend right away, you can probably give up Kristaps, but if you're the Knicks, you definitely have to accept a full rebuild. Keep Porzingis, build around him. The Latvian god, we all know who he is. Noah Vonleh is another guy you can keep, as well as Isaiah Hicks, both young. Honestly, and then Enes Kanter is one guy I'd also trade away. I forgot that the Knicks had Enes Kanter. I'd trade away Enes Kanter. You can get a first-round pick for him probably, because you also do have Mitchell Robinson, who seems like in Summer League, it seemed like he was a steal. But 80 potential, he can be about as good as Enes Kanter, as well as taller, and you're not going to need Enes Kanter if you're accepting the rebuild. Then you also do have Luke Kornet as the backup. So you'll head to the LeBron Lakers, basically the LA Bron, the LeBron Lakers, basically. Alright, so your point guard. Can I go back to the Lakers, please? Thank you. Alright, so you're going to have some point guard competition with Lonzo Ball and Rajon Rondo as well. If you want to go full assist mode, if you really want to get LeBron James the numbers, move Lonzo Ball to a shooting guard. But I wouldn't. I'd keep Lonzo Ball as a point guard and let Rajon Rondo run 6-man, because the second move that I would make is make Brandon Ingram a shooting guard. I know it seems a little bit weird. He'd be your highest ranked shooting guard by, 4 overalls? And you already have, like, a crowded small forward, and it'll allow Brandon Ingram to progress. I mean, you could even move Brandon Ingram to the power forward, but you still have Kyle Kuzma there. But we'll get into that more. So yeah, you can even maybe move Rajon Rondo for a shooting guard or a power forward or a center, which you kind of need. But Rondo could be a good 6-man, although I believe Michael Beasley would be the better 6-man. Actually, we'll take a look at Michael Beasley in just a minute as well. And then you do also have Isaac Bonga from Germany coming off the bench. Should be able to progress decently throughout his career, as well as Alec Caruso. Shooting guards, you do have Caldwell Pope and Lance Stephenson both at 76 overall. Then you also do have Josh Hart at 75 overall. Definitely good potential for Josh Hart. Could be a good 6-man for the future. Then you also do have Maya Haluk, which is why I said you won't really have a use for Brent Ingram. I mean, he would be a 6-man, but he would be more beneficial as a shooting guard right away, especially because this Lakers team is going to make playoffs. So if you really want to get a higher seed to play with one of the lower teams, put Brandon Ingram as a shooting guard. And then one move that you could also do is Michael Beasley. If you want to keep Ingram as like a 6-man at a shooting guard, make Michael Beasley power forward. Although he does go down 2 overalls and he's only 1 overall better than Kyle Kuzma. If I were to be the Lakers, I personally wouldn't, because that's just not like. I would rather play the younger guy in Kuzma and let him progress. And then you also do have Luol Deng, who you can trade for like a 2nd-round pick. Next guy is the power forward spot, Kyle Kuzma. He's definitely good for the future. I'd hold on to him. Then you also do have Travis Ware. And then the next guy is the center position. We all know JaVale, Mr. I scored on the wrong basket, McGee. Or I ran the wrong way, McGee. Not much to say about him. You definitely need an upgrade at the center position. You can go after like a guy in Milwaukee like Brook Lopez, etc., etc. We also do have Ivica Zubac, the 7-1 man from Croatia. He's going to progress to about as good as JaVale McGee. And if you even want, you can even play him as a power forward. He goes up 1, but I wouldn't. Actually, maybe I would, just to give a better bench, and then you can roll. Or you can even roll Moritz Wagner, the guy from Michigan, as the power forward. He goes up in overall, and you can let him roll the power forward as the bench. So you can really do a lot of things with this Lakers team. Anyway, we'll head down to the Orlando Magic. How many teams? We do have actually a good amount of teams left, so we probably should start moving this around along. I don't know. We'll see. So, if I'm the Magic, it's going to be a full rebuild if I'm the Magic GM. Get rid of Augustine. Keep Grant and Capionin, as well as Briscoe. Keep Fournier, although you might be able to get some good value for Fournier. It depends what is offered for Evan Fournier, to be honest. And then trade Jonathan Simmons as well. Keep Jonathan Isaac. Keep Frazier. Get rid of Terrence Ross, depending on what's offered. You can get rid of Ross for like a second round pick, or he's going to progress. So you can even maybe get a first for him. Or what you could do. No, you can't. Never mind. Don't do that. But yeah, keep Isaac. What would Isaac's overall be at power forward? Yeah, no, keep Isaac as small forward. Keep Isaac, keep Frazier. You also do have Justin Jackson, the rookie from Maryland. Honestly, I'd maybe try to move Justin Jackson. If you do have Jonathan Isaac, who's going to progress, you do already have Melvin Frazier, who's going to progress from Tulane. I would try to trade Justin Jackson, maybe try to get a first round pick for him because of his potential. Then you also do have Wesley Iwundu. I'd try to trade him away or even potentially keep him due to his age. Aaron Gordon, I would keep, even though he is probably your best trade asset. I would try to keep him and build around him. Then you also do have Jarrell Martin. I would keep him, and Amelie Jefferson. I would keep him as well. Then we all have probably the most hyped center prospect in my opinion, besides DeAndre Ayton, is Mohamed Bamba. 78 overall at 19 years old. Build around him as well. I would not get rid of him. Then you also do have Nikola Vucevic, who I would get rid of, honestly. What you could even do, make Aaron Gordon a small forward, then make Nick Vucevic a power, or Nikola Vucevic a power forward, if you really want more of a balanced lineup. That's just me though too. Then you also do have Timothy Mozgov. He's a freaking joke in himself. So yeah, basically, if you are the Magic full rebuild, get rid of Vucevic, get rid of Simmons, get rid of DJ Augustine. Maybe get rid of Evan Fournier, depending on like what you can get for him. So yeah, now heading to the Dallas Mavericks. This surprisingly is probably one of the more of the surprising teams for me. You could either contend with the Dallas Mavericks right now, or rebuild. Take a quick look at the team. JJ Barea, I would trade again, upgrade at a point guard spot, or you can roll with the younger man in Dennis Smith Jr., who's probably going to progress. Yeah, 87 potential. So you can either get rid of JJ Barea or roll with Dennis Smith right away, or even just get like an upgrade at a point guard position. Then you also do have Jalen Brunson and Daryl Macon coming off the bench. At the shooting guard position, we all know the Slovenian god, Luka Doncic. Honestly, I would try to trade Luka, mainly because he doesn't, in past Sims I've done, he hasn't really done all that well. But if you do want to go rebuild route, keep Doncic, trade Matthews, and then trade Devin Harris as well, and get a decent backup shooting guard. In my opinion, though, you can either contend with Dallas or rebuild. If I was the Dallas GM, I'm rebuilding, but it's all up to what the GM wants to go with, if he wants to win that badge or not. At the small forward position, you got Harrison Barnes, 25. He's young enough. He can be your small forward for the future. And now, then you also do have Yan Huan, whatever the phrase name is, from China. And then you also do have Ryan Brockhoff from Valparaiso. At the power forward position, you have the German god himself, Dirk Nowitzki. I would say trade Dirk, but the smart thing to do would be to trade Dirk to a contender, let him get his ring. But if you want to go like realistic, don't trade him and keep him because he's a Dallas legend. But if you want to get something for him, trade Dirk. You can even get a first from like a contending team. Plus, he's probably gonna retire after this year, and he probably won't give you the good numbers that he can give you. Plus, you do have Dwight Powell and Chianu Anoku coming off the bench. Coming off the bench, you can start. Then you also have Spalding and Kostas Antetokounmpo, the 19-year-old from Dayton. We all forgot about Kostas is Giannis' brother. And then the new free agent signing in DeAndre Jordan. basically he's already reached his max. He is a rebounding machine. Not really gonna score besides dunks. Rebuilding machine. Rebounding machine is what I meant to say. 91 offensive, 98 defensive. Absolute stud when it comes to rebounding. Then you also do have Sali Mergi, who can maybe even play at power forward if you want, but still, I wouldn't. Just let it roll back up. Brooklyn Nets, not much to say about this team. Full rebuild. You got two good young guys in Shabazz Napier and Spencer Dinwiddie. Do have D'Angelo Russell, who you could even make a point guard, although he goes down 2 overall, so I would keep him. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna go through these teams quick now. So yeah, I would keep Russell, keep Crabbe, keep Levert, get rid of Joe Harris. Keep Graham, keep Courtier. Any moves I would make, Allen Crabbe. I mean, you can even make Crabbe a small forward, but you do have a stacked small forward with Hollis Jefferson. Trade DeMarre Carroll as well as Jared Dudley. You also got the rookie Zan Musa, Rodney Curtis as well. Then you also do have these two guys. So yeah, I would trade Dudley and Carroll. You do need a power forward upgrade though. So honestly, you could even maybe move. You can move DeMarre Carroll to the power forward spot. He won't be as good, but he will be the starting point power forward. So you do need to definitely accept a full rebuild. Trade DeMarre or make him a power forward. Trade Dudley or even make him a power forward. Because then you also do have Kenneth Faried. And then at the center position, you got Ed Davis, who I would honestly trade away. I wouldn't play Ed Davis. I'd go young and play Jarrett Allen over him. 81 potential. I would play Jarrett Allen. You just got to accept a rebuild with the Nets. What is bad with the Nets is you don't have your own first round draft pick. That belongs to a Cleveland, I do believe. Oh wait, no, this is the since it's 2018, it technically does go to the Nets. Oh no, if you're the Nets, you'll see what you get. If you're the Denver Nuggets, you got a young core. Trade Isaiah Thomas or let him roll 6-man. You do have Jamal Murray, roll Murray and Monty Harris. At the shooting guard, you do have Gary Harris and Malik Beasley. That's a good duo there. At the small forward position, you have Will Barton. He is on the other side. Then you also do have Juan Hernangomez, Vanderbilt, and Craig. You could maybe get an upgrade at the small forward position there. Power forward, you got Paul Millsap. If you want to contend right away, get rid of Millsap, get a small forward upgrade, and then you can either get another power forward in it or just roll Michael Porter, the young Missouri star. You can maybe even make a small forward. Yeah, he gets an upgrade at small forward, which you do need. So you can actually even make Michael Porter the starting small forward. And then obviously you got Nikola Jokic as a starting center. Indiana Pacers, you can contend with this team. Darren Collison is an assist machine. Then you do have a young star, Corey Joseph and Edwin Summer. We all know Victor Oladipo, three-point machine as well. Then you do have Aaron Holiday, Elijah Stewart, and C.J. Wilcox as well. Tariq Evans is a good young small forward for you, or not really young, but he's a good small forward who can produce. Then you also do have Bojan Bogdanovic, who can come off the bench and be a viable 6-man. Then you do also have T.J. Leaf and Doug McDermott. The power forward spot, you got Thaddeus Young and Domantas Sabonis competing. I would play Domantas Sabonis as your power forward, just because he's younger and can produce more than Thaddeus Young can probably. And then you also do have Alize Johnson, the rookie from Missouri State. At the center position, you do have the youngster Miles Turner, could potentially be one of the best centers in the NBA in the future. Then you do also have Ike Anunoby. So yeah, Indiana Pacers, you can contend or rebuild. They're a bit of the closer teams. Pelicans, you are going to be a contending team. You got a lit point guard in Drew Holiday with Elfrid Payton and Frank Jackson coming off the bench, as well as Tony Carr. You could even make Elfrid Payton a shooting guard. Actually, I would make Elfrid Payton a shooting guard, because you need an upgrade over E'Twaun Moore. Or you can even trade. You do also need a shooting guard, so you can maybe even make DeAndre Liggins a shooting guard. Or a small forward is what I mean. Small forward, you need an upgrade over Solomon Hill. Actually, you know what you can do? Make Julius Randle a small forward. Yeah, make Julius Randle a small forward, and then keep Mirotic and Anthony Davis. And then they don't have DeMarcus Cousins anymore, so what you even could actually do is make Anthony Davis a center, and let Mirotic roll the power forward spot. Because you do need center. I forgot that they didn't have DeMarcus Cousins. At the Detroit Pistons, got Reggie Jackson at the point guard spot. I'd try to trade him as well as Ishmael. I'd accept a rebuild with the Detroit Pistons. Honestly, get rid of Blake Griffin and get rid of Andre Drummond as your two top pieces. Not much to say about Detroit. Just accept the rebuild. Toronto, obviously contending team. I'd keep Lowry. I'd try to trade Van Fleet and Wright for maybe a shooting guard, since you don't have DeMar DeRozan anymore. You do have one of the best defensive players in the game, Kawhi Leonard. So yeah, no, you do need a shooting guard upgrade. You can even, well, no, never mind. You can maybe even make Dwight. I would actually make Delon Wright a shooting guard instead, and then I would probably upgrade Danny Green to a small forward to be back up to Kawhi Leonard over CJ Miles and OG Anunoby. Then you also do have Serge Ibaka as well, Paul Siakam. What time is it? Just the 25th. I mean, it's 25. And then I would try to get an upgrade at the center position as well. Houston Rockets, we all know this team. You have one of the best assist man in NBA history, Chris Porter. Then you also do have Michael Carter Williams. Shooting guard positions, you have one of the best shooting guards in James Harden. I would make Eric Gordon a small forward if needed, because you don't really have that good of a small forward. Actually, no, that's right. You do have Melo. So yeah, no, actually keep Eric Gordon. He can be a lit six man, even potentially a 6 man of the year candidate. And you also do have PJ Tucker coming off the bench, as well as Gerald Green, Ennis with Melo starting. Power forward, you got Nene, Robbie Anderson, as well as Clark. Then obviously one of the best centers, Clint Capella. This could definitely be a top 5 team in the draft. So let me get back to the Spurs. So at the point guard position for the Spurs, I would honestly rebuild the Spurs. They can contend as they have LaMarcus Aldridge and DeRozan, but they're a little bit too old. Accept the rebuild. Trade Patty Mills. Go with DeJounte Murray as a starter, and roll Derek White off the bench. Also, get rid of DeMar DeRozan. You can get a huge haul for DeMar. Also, get rid of Bellinelli, and if you want, keep Ginobili just for his legacy, or trade him, doesn't really matter. Keep Lonnie Walker as well as Bryn Forbes. Trade Rudy Gay, roll veterans, trade Aldridge, get another power forward just to fill the spot, another young power forward if you need. And then I would trade Gasol and roll Jacob Podell. What's his potential? You could roll him. At the Phoenix Suns, except they've basically already accepted the rebuilds for you. Brandon Knight, need an upgrade at a point guard. You need a future point guard. I mean, unless you believe Ellie Okpo's your guy. Devin Booker, we all know the story of Devin Booker. He's a stud. Troy Daniels. You can maybe even make Josh Jackson a power forward if you need. Actually, no, you can't. I wouldn't actually. And maybe make Mikal Bridges a power forward. No, never mind. Keep everything the same if you're Phoenix. And then you also do have Richard Holmes and Dragan Bender here, and then obviously do have DeAndre Ayton, who you need to build around along with Devin Booker. You can maybe even trade Devin Booker for a huge haul, but I would not. The Thunder could definitely be another top 5 team. Russell Westbrook with Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench as the 6 man could be lit. Andre Roberson as a shooting guard. I would not make him a shooting guard. I would make Andre Roberson a small forward, let him come off the bench as a small forward. And then honestly, I'd maybe make Russell Westbrook a shooting guard. He gets better, and you still have Dennis Schroeder at the point guard position. You have Paul George there. You can maybe even trade Paul George to make your lineup more balanced, because you need a shooting guard and a small forward, unless you do what I said and let Schroeder run to the point and Russell run the 2. Power forward, you got Patrick Patterson, Hervey. You need an upgrade there. You can maybe even let Nerlens Noel run power forward and just trade for a bench center. Then you got Steven Adams there. We are basically done. We're not going to look at Golden State because we don't need them. Minnesota Timberwolves, your contending team. Just get an upgrade at the point guard position as well as the shooting guard. You can even make Andrew Wiggins the starting shooting guard if you need. Because you do have, or maybe even just make Jimmy Butler the starting shooting guard if you want to roll Wiggins. Power forward, you need a power forward upgrade, but you got Karl-Anthony Towns. You got a big 3 up there. Portland, I would honestly rebuild if I'm Portland. You don't have a team outside of CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard. Just accept the rebuild. And yeah, so looks like the draft is just about to get started. The last team that we are going to look at is the Washington Wizards. Alright, so then for the last team, because the draft is starting, you got Washington Wizards. I'd honestly rebuild as well. Actually, no, I'd contend, actually. I forgot that they had Dwight Howard. You got Wall and Beal, an excellent two-guard combo. You got Otto Porter who can shoot. I'd try to trade Kelly Oubre as well as Jeff Green for another power forward. And then you do have Dwight Howard. Alright, so shall we get this draft started? Alright, so the first overall pick is the Los Angeles Lakers, or should I say the LeBron Lakers. So, the point guard, Lonzo Ball. Then you also do have Rajon Rondo. They're going to be competing for the starting point guard spot. They're going to be competing for the starting point guard spot. I'd roll Lonzo just because of his age. Have Rondo come off the bench potentially as a six-man. I would make Brandon Ingram a shooting guard because they do have Caldwell Pope, Lance Stevenson, Josh Hart, as well as this guy. Do have Brandon Ingram as well as Michael Beasley. So I would make Ingram a shooting guard, Kyle Kuzma and Travis Ware as well, and then you also do have Jarrell McGee, Ivica Zubac, and Maurice Wagner. Alright, so now we're just gonna go and wait. So instead of just having no talking, at number 2, I would select this team right here. Mario selects the Boston Celtics, which is exactly who I just said they should select. Alright, you're up. Nair, come on stream, to be honest. Alright, so the Celtics went number 2. This is exactly who I predicted to go number 2. If I'm them, I would make Jaylen Brown a shooting guard, let him rule the starting shooting guard spot over Marcus Smart. Because you have Kyrie as a starting point guard, you still got Marcus Smart, who's a doable starter, but I'd make Jaylen Brown just because you have too much of a stacked small forward spot. You didn't pick yet, Nair. Nair, you're literally picking now. You got 5 minutes, so if you want to see anyone's overalls, DM. I'd also, just tell me on here. Hang on. Just let me finish the Boston Celtics. So yeah, make Markieff Morris a power forward, and then keep Al Horford. Yeah, but that's what I do with some Celtics. Alright, you're asking me what team you should select. Let's see. The Pelicans are a good team, but they're without DeMarcus Cousins, so I wouldn't really take them. You're the third. Honestly, Nair, I'd take the Houston Rockets if I were you. I'd take Houston if I'm you, Nair. Nair, you gotta DM Brian if you do want to go the Rockets. So if you do plan on going the Rockets, you have one of the best assist men in NBA history in Chris Paul. James Harden, as well as Eric Gordon, who can make a small forward if you really want to, but I wouldn't. Then you also do have Carmelo Anthony, Peter. You just have an all-around balanced team. So Nair, if you wanna go Houston, DM. Brian, you could even also go Oklahoma City if you want. Yeah, Nair goes Houston. Alright, so we might as well just look at Houston. Yo, what's up, Cam? So looking at Houston, even though I literally just did, best assist man in NBA history in Chris Paul. Potentially the best shooting guard in the NBA in James Harden. You also do have Eric Gordon coming off the bench. Small forward, they obviously just picked up Carmelo Anthony. You do also have PJ Tucker, who you can maybe even play at power forward if you need. He's a little bit undersized, but good power forward. You also do have Gerald Green, who you can make a shooting guard if you really want to add depth there. Then you also do have James Ennis and Vince Edwards. Power forward spot, Nene, along with Ryan Anderson, and Clark. Yeah, no, I just had to help Nair there. Nair's like, Anyway, Clint Capella, one of the best centers. This is definitely a team that can take down the gutted Warriors. I mean, the Warriors are probably going to get auctioned, so this Houston Rockets team is going to be the best. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to head to the bathroom quick since we don't have much to do while we wait. Once I'm still going to be in main chat, so just give me like a minute. David, right now it is pick 4, I do believe. Ray's up, but he's not here now. I could go through the power rankings while we wait. The preseason power rankings. Yeah, we could go into that. So, right now it's the Golden State Warriors, but they're going to get auctions. Yeah, it did, David. We're on the 4th pick in the draft right now. So, outside of Golden State, you got Boston, Houston, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Washington, the Clippers somehow are at 7, Pacers, Minnesota, Cleveland, New Orleans, LA, Philly. That's why. Then you got Chicago, Toronto, Milwaukee, and then your worst team is the Sacramento Kings, which was kind of projected. But yeah. Alright, we'll go to who's the last team selected? Number 3 was, that was Nayer's Rockets, correct? Yeah. Oh crap, I forgot to look at we'll actually go and do their right overalls. So first for the Lakers overalls. Here, I just realized that wasn't the Lakers. Where's the Lakers now? I gotta do the Lakers overalls. So for the Lakers, you got LeBron. Yep. For right now, here is the Lakers overalls. And then we'll head to the Boston Celtics. So Raymond has gone the Denver Nuggets. Alright, so there is the Boston Celtics, and then now I will just go to the third team that was selected, which was the Houston Rockets. Where is Houston? Just to do Nayer's overall video without recording it for right now. Right now it's on YouTube there. There you go. Then we'll head to number 4, which was just selected, which was the Denver Nuggets. You got Jokic, Gary Harris. You just need an upgrade at the small forward position, but you can move Michael Porter at small forward to be completely fine with that. So yeah, So yeah, the Denver Nuggets, I'm just going to repeat myself from what I said before. Try to trade Isaiah Thomas. If not, let him come off as a 6-man. Make Michael Porter a small forward. Let him start at the small forward position. Alright, so Rev's up. What team is Rev gonna select here? So Rev goes to San Antonio Spurs. So Rev gets to San Antonio Spurs. You got Patty Mills, DeJounte Murray, and Derek White here as well. Then you also got DeMar DeRozan as the starting shooting guard. You also do have Marco Bellinelli, Manu Ginobili, Walker. There's not much I would really say about this team. I think it maybe went a little bit high, in my opinion, at number 5, I believe, or 4. But that's just my opinion. I think that it went like a little bit high. Where's San Antonio? I just passed over them. So John Carlo goes to 76ers as well. So now this draft is starting to move at least a little bit. So the 76ers now. You got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, who I would suggest making a small forward, or yeah, I would suggest making Ben Simmons a small forward, or even a shooting guard. Then you got JJ Redick. and let Markelle Fultz run the point guard. Here is the overalls for the 76ers, as well as all their picks. And he asked for a video copy, so here we go. So George is up. Alright, so I am up. Let me see. Yep, I'm debating on what team I want to take. I don't know if I want to go. I might go Milwaukee. I don't know yet. Let me see. You know what? Alright, you know what? Give me the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hang on one moment, please. Let me just DM Brian, who I want. Yep, thank you. I DM'd you anyway. Alright, so let's go in depth with me now. What team are you, by the way, David, that you picked? I just went the Oklahoma State Thunder. So what I'm actually going to do is make, since this is my team now, I'm going to make what I said on my pre-show. Make Russell Westbrook a shooting guard. Roll with Dennis Schroeder as well as Russell Westbrook there. I'm going to make Andre Roberson a small forward there. Let him roll bench there. And then maybe not. Grant is just an upgrade, but I'm not going to do that there. So I do that. Then I'm going to do what I said with the power forward as well. Nerlens Noel is going to be my starting power forward. Then my backup center is going to be Patrick Patterson. And all of a sudden, this is a lit team. This is a lit OKC team. I'm just typing something on the announcement chat. Oh, you're about to pick David. Is there anyone who you want to see, David, as well? Alright, so I don't think we have really much to do. The best team available, in my opinion, if we go to the power rankings, where's the power rankings? Crap. Let's see. The top these top teams are still available. Honestly, in my opinion, the top team still available is honestly probably one of the lower teams. Where are they? My top team available now is probably the Milwaukee Bucks, wherever they are. Yeah, they have a pretty balanced lineup, Milwaukee. I don't know how they haven't been selected. The best team is probably still the Milwaukee Bucks, maybe even Minnesota, just because they have a pretty solid team. They really just need to upgrade the shooting guard and the power forward position, but they do have Andrew Wiggins, who can make a shooting guard, or you can make Jimmy Butler the shooting guard, slide Wiggins in at small forward, and just need a power forward upgrade. I just realized I forgot to show my I think I forgot to show Revy's as well, so here is all of Revy's picks, and here is the overall video for Revy. There we go. Let me also just do mine as well, even though I don't really need it because I'm the simmer, I have the game, and I'll be on it, but I just want to do it just in case. There is everything now that I made all of the changes. And then here's my picks. So Brian, yeah, I know I'm snubbing them, eh? But so Brian goes Milwaukee. All right. And finally, they slid a little bit too much, I thought. They got Giannis, Middleton, Bledsoe. So here's that overall video. Pretty good pick for Milwaukee there, honestly. I think Brian might have gotten a steal there, so. I don't know, I just got off kick. Alright, let's see, it's David up. My top team that's available now on the power rankings would honestly be Minnesota. And still Minnesota, honestly. So many changes you can do with the team to make the team better. Especially because if you take a look, right, Toronto, they have amazing defense, as it was being said in the group chat. But
going based off these power rankings here. Surprised that the Wizards are honestly this high as well. I mean, they're honestly not that bad, but still just waiting on the pick. So yeah, no, my top team, I just gave Jack my top list of teams. Obviously, it went, that team's still available. Top teams, in my opinion, that are still available. You got Minnesota here. Again, let me go. Minnesota you still got available, as well as Toronto. Where's Toronto? New Orleans. As well as Cleveland. Cleveland I put as my third best. Still available. And then you also got teams like Portland, Indiana, and the Clippers, in my opinion. As well as the Jazz. The Jazz could actually be a pretty good team too. So David goes the Raptors at number 2, or at 12. So if we head to Toronto now, they have potentially the best defensive player in the game with Kawhi Leonard. They also have Kyle Lowry, who you might need to replace. He is getting a little bit on the older side. Serge Ibaka as well. You got Jonas Valanciunas, Fred VanVleet, Delon Wright, who if you make a shooting guard can really increase, and this team needs a shooting guard. CJ Miles, Pascal Siakam, Danny Green, OG Anunoby, Norman Powell, Malachi Richardson, and so on. Pick wise, you got that, and that. Alright, so I believe that he wants an overall video, so I'm just gonna send it to him just in case, but if not, here's your overalls again. Valanciunas is only a 77 overall, yeah. He didn't have that, yeah. It's a YouTuber's roster. It's skill kills. I mean, Kawhi Leonard, arguably one of the best defensive players in the game. So Jack is up, and he is ready to select. Now, if I'm Jack here, I'm taking Minnesota, honestly. There's no other really team like Minnesota where their one weak position is shooting guard. You can make Wiggins the shooting guard, or you can make Jimmy Butler the shooting guard and let Wiggins roll the small forward, and you can have a really balanced lineup there if you do decide to go Minnesota. As Jack does go the Timberwolves, so he does do exactly what I said. So here will be his overalls once I'm able to switch to Minnesota. There we go. So Jimmy Butler, Karl-Anthony Towns, Wiggins. So Noah goes the Suns at 14 as well, so we will show his overall in just a moment. That's actually honestly a really underrated pick. I'm gonna give him some credit for that. It's a reach there at 15. It's a reach there at 15, being that it is the Suns. But hang on, Jack just asked me for the stream link. Alright, so yeah, here is all the picks. And then for the overalls, here is the overalls. Alright, so Jack wants to see the Dallas Mavericks overall, so I'll show him quick. Alright, so we'll go to the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks are actually probably one of the more underrated teams, I do think, in this KTL. You got Barea Smith, you got all that. They are probably one of the more underrated teams. And then here are their picks, by the way. If you do decide to go them, I'll obviously re-show it, but it was just showing. But yeah, so there were your overalls, Jack. And yeah, so my top teams that are available now would probably my top team available would probably honestly be the top team available would honestly probably be Cleveland, in my opinion. Just need an upgrade at the point guard position, honestly, and this team can contend. Just make Kevin Love a center. This team can easily contend, honestly. If you make Kevin Love a center, roll Nance. I mean, is it going to get past Boston? I don't know. You're going to have to make some moves, but this can easily be a contending team. So yeah, if he does go the Mavs, we will head to the Dallas Mavericks, so you got DeAndre Jordan, Harrison Barnes. You got a nice little thing there, especially with Jordan and Nowitzki. It's actually probably one of the more underrated teams that I did say once before, and he has some pretty good picks. So if he is bad this year, he can go do it. So Andy is on the clock. I do believe he went to sleep, so that's gonna be interesting to see. Who is my top team still available is Cleveland. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I'll give you your overalls right now, and then I'll show Andy's overalls as well, because he went Pacers. So yeah, just let me go to you right now. I'll record the roster and your picks for you as well. Alright, so Andy. So Andy goes. What team did he go again? Andy went Indiana. I'm surprised that they fell. Honestly, this far you got a really good guy in Victor Oladipo, a really good assist man in Darren Collison. Should average about 7 to 8 assists, especially with Tyreek Evans and Miles Turner. We got a good bench, honestly, a good starting power forward in Domantas Sabonis. You can even maybe start Bogdanovich as like a power forward. I doubt it though. And then at the pick, you got picks. You got some good picks for if you're bad. So Logan got sticked, which will bring up Brandon here. As I feel like this might be a little bit too loud. So everybody know I'm better. Yeah, I'll fix this all when it comes down to like stream time, but let me go and turn off all the sound. Alright, so yeah. So Indiana went there. My top team still available is Cleveland. And I know it seems like weird, but Cleveland is definitely a contending team. Plus, if you take a look here, right? You can even make Clarkson a point guard, but I would not. I just want to take a quick look at my rotation now. Honestly, not even that bad of a rotation. Just need a power forward upgrade. Can we get this show on the road, people, eh? I will be right back as well. Alright, so while I was gone, we got two things going. So first, the overall vid that I am going to show is the New Orleans Pelicans here. Here is their and then here is all of the overalls. Honestly, the Pelicans wasn't a bad pick. You can make Jabari Parker a small forward, and then keep Mirtis as a power forward, make Payton a shooting guard, and you got yourself a lineup. Alright, and then now the next team was the Memphis Grizzlies. So where are the Grizzlies? And we'll take a look at the Wizards in a minute. So Will went the Grizzlies. Here is his overalls. There you go. And then now we'll go to the Wizards as well. This is a nice little team too for you if you want to contend. The Wizards are probably a steal. The West is stacked, but honestly, Cleveland is going to be the steal of the draft. I'm surprised they have not been selected yet. New Orleans was just taken, so we'll just go through my power rankings now. We'll go to my power rankings, see who I think is the top team still available. Definitely the Clippers have to be up there, honestly. Two change of positions, and the Clippers are honestly an 80 plus lineup through the board. So Dimitri does go the Cavs. So the Cavs have finally gone off the board. As we take a look here, basically all the Cavs honestly need is a point guard. And a center, but if you make Kevin Love a center, although it says that he's gonna rebuild, which he can easily contend, being that the East is so weak. The East is so weak, but it is what it is. Alright, so we're gonna go back. So Brandon N goes Bulls. The Bulls, I would not have gone Bulls, but they aren't bad. Zach LaVine is a very good asset. Same with Jabari Parker. The Bulls are actually probably one of the more underrated picks here. I mean, I'm not saying that they are going to contend. They are going to have to completely rebuild. But still, it's a pretty good pick there, honestly. So there are the Bulls overalls. So now I gotta do my top 5 updated teams for the Power Team. Alright, so my next team, so the next top team that has not been taken yet, I would have to say for my other number 5 spot would honestly probably have to be Miami Heat. As the Jazz go, so I gotta change that. We'll take a look at the Jazz in a minute. So take a look at the Utah Jazz after they were just selected. Where is Utah? Here they are. That's the Hornets. There we go. So Utah, they have a good center in Rudy Gobert, good young shooting guard, Donovan Mitchell. Probably going to be one of the best shooting guards in the game. Could use an upgrade at the point guard spot as well as a better small forward, but still, honestly, a balanced around team, and I'm surprised that they fell to whatever pick we are. So Danny goes Portland. As Cam is now up. As people do want their overalls. Luckily, Adrian just went Utah, so. Also, they do have Grayson Allen, a good young shooting guard. Alright, that's right, he's Pelican, so I keep forgetting this isn't MLB where you can just hold it down and switch teams. So we're looking at the Pelicans overalls again because he wants me to send him an overall video. So Cam goes the Detroit Pistons. That's actually probably one of my better teams that were on the board. So the Pistons have now been selected. Where is Detroit for the Pistons? There we go. Here are your overalls, Cam. So there are your overalls as well. This could be a contending team, I guess. Just needs a couple of more moves to be a contending team, but Cam should be able to do that. And now we're just waiting. Now we wait for Keith to make the selection. Alright, but I just gotta go do something quick. What team is he? Oh, he's the Pelicans. He's Pelican. Shit. So we'll see if he wants me to keep him as a small forward. And now I gotta send the Boston Celtics overalls. I'll get used to this in a minute. So Noah goes the Los Angeles Clippers, and that's actually really, really good selection now. You got Lou Williams, who you can make a point guard, and he'll still be just as good. Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, Luke Maba, Mo. Same thing as Gallinari Gotard. This is actually one of the underrated teams. Could potentially be one of the steals. As there are your overalls, good sir. Alright, so Keith is up, and now it's time for me to update my top 5 teams not taken. So now the Heat, crap. Where is my power rankings? Here we go. So my top 5 teams that are not taken is the Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, Brooklyn Nets, the Sacramento Kings, and then the Charlotte Hornets. Alright, and there is yet another question from Brandon Kinney. Alright. Yoinks. Now I gotta go to the Bulls. There you go. There we go. Okay, so a little bit of a dead weight here for the draft. Alright, so thank you all for tuning in to the live stream. See you guys later.